Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of Connecting Women in Insurance with me, your host, Julie. If you haven't already, please go back and watch episode 1 and 2. I think you will enjoy seeing these amazing women and hearing their stories. Today's episode is with Ms. Angelyn Zeringue, president of SouthGroup Insurance. So grab a cup of coffee or a glass of tea and sit back and enjoy listening to the story of her journey. Please welcome Ms. Angelyn Zeringue, president of SouthGroup Insurance. Thank you for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
Well, Angelyn, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do daily with work, and even a little bit about your home life.
Okay, sure. I'm happy to do that. So I've been in the insurance industry over 20 years now. Still can't believe that it's been that long, and it's been just fabulous for me. I was born a while back, and I am the eldest. I never say oldest, but I'm the eldest of 10 children. We had
Wow.
5 boys and 5 girls in our family.
Bless your
And
mother's
so,
heart.
I know. So you may say that I've always kind of been a leader because mom and dad always entrusted me to take care of the little ones and
Right.
to do extra stuff and grow up a lot earlier, I guess, than they did.
Yes.
They were the babies, so we had to take care of them. And I have had such a full life. You're not going to believe this, but I used to live on a pig farm. We would
Really?
we would get up at 4:30 in the morning, and we would have to feed the pigs, all the pigs. There were over 2,000 pigs on
Wow.
the property, and we get them all fed. We grain fed them. We didn't
Right.
feed them slop or anything like that, but we
Right.
grain fed them, and then we'd have to run in, get showered, get dressed for school, and then get on the bus to go to school. So that was pretty exciting and taught me a lot about farm life and animals and raising things, and actually about being very organized.
Right. You have to be.
And so I do have 4 boys that are grown, and they're like kind of like stair steps. They're One of them is actually turning 40 this year, which I
No.
can't believe. And I have 3 fabulous grandkids, and I'm just so proud of them, and I'm enjoying kind of reliving the kid stages with them. They're 8, 6, and 2, so that makes it really
Oh,
fun.
those are fun ages.
Very fun ages. So we're trying to figure out where we want to go next and do family vacations. We do an insurance convention every year, and so I'm really thrilled to have them come again this year. It's just a big family time, and plus we get an opportunity to meet with all of the insurance agents and the insurance companies and brokers, and so hopefully y'all will be there as well. And
Yes,
it's in Sandestin in June, so put that on your calendar.
I definitely will. That sounds wonderful. How blessed are you to have such a great family?
Oh, it's just wonderful.
And you,
And I guess in my growing up, I worked with an oil company for over a decade before coming into the insurance industry, and it was really a great environment for me to learn a lot about becoming more efficient. And I know it's hard saying working at a corporation and efficiency, that generally doesn't go together because there's so much red tape and too many layers of bosses. And so it actually helped me learn. I studied a lot about this guy named Deming who came up with this process called continuous improvement.
huh?
And the way it works is you look at anything that you do
Mm-hmm.
and you analyze it and try to figure out a way to make it better, more efficient, faster, more profitable.
Right.
And then you make a change and you review and you see, hey, how did that go? Did that work? Did that not work? Should I tweak something else? And then make an improvement and keep going. So you just keep refining and refining processes until you come up with something that's so much better than you started with. And the reason I say that is because when I went into the insurance industry, I was able to use that mentality to make everything I touched better. So
Right.
I went in, and the first thing I did in the agency was I automated it. They were still using paper files. So I was able to improve that process, get everything digital, get everything better, get better systems, and get everybody trained better. And we just, from that day, for the last 20 years, every single day, I try to make something better.
Right.
So it makes it a lot more fun, actually. So now that I'm an entrepreneur instead of just somebody at a big corporation,
Right.
I'm a big fish in a little pond instead of a little fish in a big pond.
Right.
So I thoroughly enjoy that. I love, what do I do at work? I do everything. I am the chief cook and bottle washer. I do everything from painting to taking out the trash to fixing the broken toilet
Right.
to selling $1 million insurance policy. And I work on life and health and personal lines and commercial lines and marketing, internet marketing. I love everything I touch. I love going to work every day. It is so fulfilling to me. But when I first went in, because I left from this big organization, this big oil company,
Right.
going into a little community small agency that had 4 people in it. And the reason I did that was because I wanted a kinder, gentler life. I
Right.
wanted something that was not stressful, that was easier, that I could be close to my children as they were growing up. And well, okay, so I was totally wrong about everything because there is so much energy required to run your own
Oh
business
yeah.
and to be able to make a difference. And if you don't work, then the whole business suffers. Because so
Right.
now I work even more than I did at the corporation environment, because you could turn it off and leave, but in the insurance industry, you're it. So you have to make things happen.
Right.
And I do, and I'll talk about that a little bit later when we get on to the part about advice I would give. But it is something that is very, very fulfilling. So anyway, I jumped into it with both feet and I started learning everything, but I didn't want to sell insurance.
Right.
I love technology. I love accounting. I'm a CPA. I wanted to just do the back office stuff.
Right.
Didn't want to be involved with any of the sales and all of that stuff. But then I saw how insurance is such an integral part of so many people's lives
Hmm.
and how it really helps people
Oh yeah.
if they have a good agent that will help them understand the coverages. So it's kind of like an education thing. So you get the opportunity to be a teacher
Right.
and an efficiency guru and just a good person, because the reality is we make our business out of getting people to like us. They need to trust us, and
Hmm.
we need to give them good advice. We need to be there for them no matter what happens, especially in the bad times. So, as I was learning all of this and changing my mind about being involved with the actual day to day sales activity, we had, I was 5 years into working with the insurance agency, and we had the most devastating time of my life and my whole community's life with a terrible hurricane called Hurricane Katrina
Mm.
back in 2005.
Hmm.
And when I tell you it was life changing, I mean, you one morning you are sitting high and everything's going good, and the next morning you have nothing,
Right.
absolutely nothing. And it wasn't just a couple of people that were destroyed and devastated. It was everyone that I knew, every single customer in our agency, 8,000 customers were impacted by this. We turned in 8,000
Mm.
claims. And this is when you really understand the importance of insurance, because we are there when people have lost everything and they're able to rebuild their lives because you helped them have the proper coverages and work well with their adjusters. So thank God for the adjusters, because they came through. One thing that was kind of funny, we started driving around just looking at the devastation. I mean, my own house had 16 feet of water in it, so there was a flood issue, there was wind issues, we had fires. I mean, everything. Everybody lost their cars. Everything was just gone. So we started driving around trying to make a list of who to turn in claims for. And we finally just started calling every company we did business with and saying, we're putting in a claim on every single one of our policies. Get the adjusters down here so that we can start helping these people. And we had some pushback from a couple of carriers, but overall, I mean, and it took a long time to get everything, all the claims settled. And I know you heard a lot of really bad press about how the insurance companies and the adjusters were so horrible. But I can tell you that the companies we dealt with, they did a good job, and they recognized the human element of going through this claims process and helping people rebuild. And, so I am very, very proud of our agency, of our partners that we had, and being able to go through this experience, document everything, and help make it better, the whole process of claims adjusting and automation for preparation for the next catastrophe. Because goodness knows, since 2005, which is 20 years ago now, we have had a number of different catastrophic events
Right.
that required so much tender loving care to get through.
So I don't think people realize it is an industry of helps, like to help people and to help them get back on their feet and to bring them back to as close to normal as you possibly can. So you said you started out in a oil refinery business, but did you ever think you would end up in insurance, or did it just kind of take you there?
Well, that's a good question. When I was working with the oil industry, that was a fun job too. I was um, I was an analyst, a financial analyst, and my job was to work with different oil rigs and oil refineries, and so I was able to ride in seaplanes and
Oh,
helicopters and all
fun.
kinds of cool stuff. So my main problem was that I was commuting an hour a day to get into the big city,
Right.
and it was taking so much time away from my family. I had two small sons at that time, and I just wanted something that wasn't as stressful on me, where I could spend more time with the family. And I have a servant heart.
Mm-hmm.
I love helping out different organizations. So by moving back to a small town, to a small insurance agency, I was able to be within a block of the schools for my sons. I was able to become involved in the school board and helping them automate and work with their new computer labs. I helped fundraise for computer labs because I'm all about kids and helping develop the next generation. I've become very involved over time with almost every nonprofit organization: United Way, Red Cross, the foundations in the area. the Habitat for Humanity. There's so many worthwhile organizations, and there's so much need.
There really is.
The chambers of commerce. I realized that that was the way to really make your agency flourish, because the more you're in the community, the more people see you, and oh, there's the insurance lady. So I mean, I can't even go to church without people saying, oh, at the parade yesterday. I was in a parade yesterday, and somebody yelled down to me from the float and said, hey, I need to talk to you about insurance. Okay. I'll try to remember that you told me this.
That's funny.
So but it's my life. It's what I love. And so my community give backs, my involvement has made me a better person. But in addition, it's helped me establish relationships and partnerships with great entities that need my help. And I love helping them. So that it's kind of been a win-win for me.
I think the insurance industry is a phenomenal industry for parents who want to be more involved with their families, because depending on the area you're in and depending on the company you work for and or with, it affords you more time to do those things, because you can adjust your hours accordingly. You can work around soccer. You can work around school plays. You can work around different things like that. So it is a fantastic industry, especially if you want to be more involved in your children's lives as they grow up, or even if you have elderly parents that you need to take care
Right.
of, you're available. And it excuse me, it allows you a little more freedom with your time and schedule to do some of the things you want to do. So,
You're so right. Yeah, you're so right. And I'll tell you another thing that strikes me about the insurance industry is, I know it's not like you don't wake up one day and say, oh, when I grow up, I want to be an insurance agent. But it's such a rewarding life that where you can do almost anything. If you are a technology person, there's stuff that can be done there. If you like sales and being in front of people and doing big presentations, there's a place for you there. If you prefer more service oriented work, there's a place for you there. So there's life insurance, health insurance, personal lines, commercial lines. It's almost like anybody that has the desire to help people could work in insurance and have a very rewarding career and do what they like. It's not like you have to keep doing something you don't like, because we work as a team in my agency. And so I have people that have more skills in a particular area, so we'll go and do a team sell. So that makes it easier for us. I have older folks in their 50s. I don't want to say like that sounds old, but I have some agents in their 50s. I have agents in their 20s. We are able to accommodate everybody, and even better than that, from a work-life balance. Today is a holiday for a lot of the schools around here because it's Ash Wednesday. We just celebrated big time Mardi Gras.
here too.
And so they're all out on spring break. So they're able to bring their kids to the office and let the kids, and we put them to work too. We let them scan things and help us deliver the mail and get everything done. But we have an environment that is family friendly too, and you can't do that in a big corporation.
You cannot.
So that's another advantage of being able, whether you're male or female. I mean, there's something for everybody in insurance.
There really is. So let me ask you something. In your career, have you ever made a mistake or made a decision and you thought, oh no, that just ended that. I might as well call it a day. But you learned something valuable from it that helped your career later.
Okay, That's a good one. So a couple of things come to mind on that. The first major mistake I made was being too, what's the word, too controlling over my technology when I first came into the insurance industry. And by that I mean, well, I had worked so hard automating everything, digitizing everything, that I wanted control of it. And I was one of those proud people that said, I will never let anyone else host my information. I don't believe in the cloud. I want it here, tangible, in my office where I can see and feel it. Well, then, when your office gets destroyed, you realize, I probably should have migrated my information to an online server so that I can operate my agency from the moon if I need to. And so that has been, I will tell you, because I was way wrong on that, way wrong. And let's see. I guess the second thing I would say to that is I heard a long time ago, and it really disturbed me, but they said if you come in second place, you're the first loser. And I was like, wow, that's so harsh. But in insurance, if you don't make the sale, you've got zero. So it is a competitive environment. So what do you learn from that? What do you learn when you don't win the big account? And so we spend a lot of time as a team looking at when we haven't won and what does that mean and what can we do differently next time. And sometimes on a really large account, which you could have been working on it for 6 months trying to get everything in line so you could make the big presentation and wow everybody and get the nod to become the agent for the account, and then you don't get it. And it's like we did everything. We did everything we could. And then not once, not twice, but 3 times we've missed out on a large entity, and it actually turned out to be a blessing because there were serious problems with those entities, and it ended up getting real ugly, and the person that ended up getting the agency nod and was doing the insurance didn't do it right, and it was a big fiasco. And in 2 of those cases, we ended up getting the account anyway because we're going to do it right or we're not going to do it. So we missed out on the price, so to speak, but we had done it right and they hadn't.
Right. I think you do have to look sometimes at losses as blessings. I mean, because you did if you gave it your all, and you know that you did it everything you could do, well, I don't think you necessarily lose, so to speak. I get what you're saying, but I think if you learned something in that, you still came out a winner to some degree. Like you may not have gotten the count, but I'm sure you all have takeaways whenever you have those meetings and you learn how to tweak things and better do it so that the next presentation is even better. So while you may not have gotten it right away, or there's some you may just never get, but you learned something from it. So you still, in a sense, won because it bettered your team and it helped you grow as a team.
Right.
But I do like that because people don't. I think you get so caught up in trying to win the prize, whatever that may be, or that you don't realize or you can't see the problems. Like you can't see the potholes because it's dark in the road, so you hit them with your car and blow your tire out. But
Right.
I think that's a good. I like that. I think that's a good thing for people to think about when they go into something like that.
Yeah.
So who is or was the most influential person in your life and or career, and why? Give me an
Good one. I, I would say I'd have to give the credit to my mom and dad. Um, I mean, I know they were crazy having 10 kids, but besides that, my mom was such a gentle, giving soul, and she stood by my father um, through thick or thin and handled all of his office work. I mean, so she never stopped working. In addition to raising the 10 kids, she was also working with my dad in various businesses. And my dad was so amazing. He was a brilliant man that did so many different things. He was an extreme entrepreneur. So I learned so much from him on researching and getting better all the time. And he, I do probably suffer more from his problem, which was being a workaholic, because if you ask me what my favorite hobby is, I'd probably say it's working because I love doing things and making things better and staying busy. In fact, my husband laughs at me all the time because I cannot sit still. If I sit still, I fall asleep. I am I am on 90 miles an hour all day long. And so just don't sit down. That's all I know is don't sit down. But it's they really taught me so much through my life, and we had so many different experiences with them, living on the pig farm, living on a mountain in Nashville. My dad owned an airplane, so we got to fly around all over the place. And then we moved to the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, and we were able to just bloom there and just make a home wherever we went. We learned how to enjoy different communities. I love the travel aspect, all the different places we've been. So that's kind of who I would have to give the credit to because they were just so phenomenal.
That is wonderful. That really is. So, what advice would you give women listening that want to move forward in their careers, no matter what the industry is?
Well, I don't know, being a woman, but of course, I love men too because I'm the
Right.
mother of all boys. So I want the world to be good to both of us. But I think that women and men make a really good team. I'll start by saying that.
I agree.
The women, though, do bring something different to the table.
Hmm.
We're probably a little more versatile and helpful. We're great team members. We're not necessarily wanting to be in the limelight all the time, but we're great supporting and encouraging and helping make things better. We complete the process. So I think that having an effective team is extremely, extremely important. At one point, I actually had an office full of only women, and they used to pick on us because we're kind of set up like a franchise where we're part of a larger organization, and we had about 20 different offices. So here come all the girls from the Gulf Coast, so we'd go up to the meeting, and they thought we were funny at first, but then we were kicking butt, so it was all good. And so over time, we've added because I do believe in team. You can't have everybody that works and acts and thinks the same way. You have to have balance across. So now I have 9 ladies and 3 guys that work with us, and they bring so much to the equation too. The guys do, and then in addition, I've got a segmentation of mature and very young. So we're constantly evolving and mentoring everyone. We just take turns trying to get better and better. So it makes it a lot of fun. Over time, you always want to be better, but I learned a lot over my lifetime from bad bosses because you learn what not to do. So I've
Amen.
really tucked all of that close to my heart and said, this is something I never want to have my team exposed to because I know how detrimental it is to have a bad boss. There used to be this book called How to Work for a Jerk. I would recommend that everybody read that. Seriously, because it gives you techniques because you can't be obnoxious to your boss because they're your boss.
Right.
So, but there are ways that you can bloom horizontally while you're dealing with this boss, and then it gives you techniques on how to survive until you get another boss. So, I found it really, really helpful throughout my career, something like that. Just learning about people, learning how to get along, learning how to be a good team member. For women, it is really, really important, especially in insurance, because a lot of men take the forefront. They're the producers. And if you're going to be a female producer, you need to work extra hard, unfortunately. And dress for success. There was a book about that too.
Mm-hmm.
Dress for success. When you are in an office environment, you need to be dressed for the position you want.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be an agency owner, you need to dress in a professional style. Being at the office is not a place to be dressing pretty and looking to pick up people. You do that on your own time. You need to dress appropriately to be, and I have people come into my insurance office from all kinds. I mean, we represent hundreds of different companies, and they come in and they are like, wow, this is the most professional office we have ever been in. Because a lot of people think because you're in a small town, you got to dress like a slob. No, no, no. You command respect by how people perceive you. So dress the part of a successful insurance person, and that will serve you very, very well.
We
And keep the drama at home.
thank
No
you.
drama.
Thank you.
There's no drama for this llama. I have no tolerance for that. We don't have, if there's any problems, you get them worked out and don't bring them to me, who's in charge of the agency. It needs to be worked out, and we all need to be professional. And I have no tolerance for gossiping and acting all silly. It's it's too important. We have a job to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like people having to work long, long hours. I want them to be able to come and go after their 8 hours are up, and I want them to have flexibility to be with their kids when they need to, and then be able to be back when it's an awards ceremony at the end of the year. People run out and go to the awards ceremony at school for their kids, and then they come back. When you're at the office, be on task. There's too much to be done. If you don't have enough to do, then ask for more work. Boy, that really endears you to your management. If you're asking for more work and you want to learn more things,
Oh
that's
yeah.
really cool. Yeah, that works really well. And I admire that in people. And I'll tell you what, somebody that helps them get promoted and get more money and get more success in the agency and the community. Get out in the community. Don't be a wallflower. Even if you're somebody that's in service in an agency, you need to be involved. You need to be promoting your agency outside of the office environment. So people need to see you and know that you're the insurance lady. You need to have them make that connection when they see you.
I
It's uh
I
it's
agree.
really, yeah.
Circling back to the perception in our office here, we have a sign that says "Perception is reality." So it's
Agreed.
very true. Um,
Agreed.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you some really quick questions. So
Hmm.
it's just off the top of your head. There's no right or wrong answer. If you
Okay.
if you can't think of an answer, that's fine. And you've kind of already answered this one, but I'm going to hit you with it anyway.
Okay.
What's your favorite hobby or pastime?
Uh, I don't know. I have to say I like to work, but I do like being out in nature too. I love the great outdoors. I
Okay.
love the creek and yeah, I love fresh air.
Okay. What's the best compliment you've ever received?
Oh, um, you helped me so much. Thank you for being my insurance agent.
Awesome. If you could have any superpower and it has to be kind of pointless, what would it be?
Hmm. I want to be able to fly.
I love it. Okay. I think I probably know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Ugh, inefficiency. But I will tell you, I'm learning to keep my mouth shut because if you tell somebody how they can do something better, they put you in charge. So I'm learning.
Okay, if given the chance, oh, sorry, what job would you love to try? Any job
Mm.
in the world.
Any job in the world? I think I would want to be a school teacher, but I don't know. Those poor souls. God bless them all. You know, just being around a whole group of kids kind of makes me nervous.
Okay, what job would you definitely not want to do?
uh, we watch a lot of the program, the dirtiest jobs or whatever. I mean,
Mhm.
all of the ones on that show, they can have that. There was something where they had to stand in the water and catch fish with their hands, and ugh, it was disgusting.
Okay, and last one, what's your favorite type of food?
Ooh, I guess my maiden name is Scardino, so I guess I'll have to go with something Italian. So I'm going to say pizza.
There you go. Okay, so that was fun. I like that. That was good. Okay, what direction do you think the next leg of your journey will take you on? Or do you see it
Well,
being different?
yeah, I at this point in my life, I'm super, super pumped about the youth, the younger people in our communities, in our agency. I want to be able to help mentor them and help develop them. And they will never have the experiences I had growing up, being part of a big family and working on a pig farm and living all many different places. But it helped me become more well rounded. So, what can I impart to this younger group to help them be as successful as they can be? I work a lot with STEM, which is STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. I'm a
Nice.
big supporter of that in the elementary and the high schools around. And we're trying to help promote the the learning, the desire to continue learning and to excel in these different disciplines because that is going to help us so much in the future.
I agree.
I've worked to help mentor women's organizations. There was a women's leadership group that I chaired for many years, and I'm part of the women's enrichment group. So I try to become engaged in places where I can help somebody be better in their career and be more successful. So right now, I'm really into the mentoring phase of my life. I want to leave the world a better place when it's my time to finally relax, even though I don't know that it's possible for me to relax because I already told you that I can't even sit down without falling asleep. So I'm going to have to really work on that. So I was laughing. I said, well, and my husband keeps saying, well, when are you going to retire? When are you going to retire? I was like, well, I don't know if I can. I said, but maybe what we can do is in a few years, I'll start taking off 1 day a week. And then the next year, 2 days a week. And then the next year, and kind of ease into it. And he's doubtful that I'm ever going to get there. But I love what I do. And so even on the weekends, I'm always got a computer handy and I'm like checking on things and answering clients and helping them and doing quotes and sending out, trying to get sales. And, it's me.
Right.
And so I guess that's just the way it is.
Well, you're very blessed to love what you do because not everybody does.
True.
Well, Angelyn, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to join us today on Connecting Women in Insurance. I want you to let people know where they can reach you, your agency, and we will also put it down in the chat for people to see and to be able to contact you.
Okay,
So,
super.
what's your website?
My website is www.southgroupgulfcoast.com. And they can reach me at, we'll use the shorter name, azarang@southgroup.net.
Got it. And we will have those both down in the chat in the comment area.
Great.
I do
Great,
appreciate
great.
it. And as we go, do you have any last thing you would like to say to anyone or?
No, just insurance is a great career path, and I do encourage people to take a look at it. And it's not as glamorous as some jobs appear to be, but it's very, very rewarding.
I agree. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed today's episode with Angelyn. If you will, please like and subscribe below so that you don't miss any future episodes. Thank you, and I will see you next time.